Hello again, book lovers. We're going to Babylon. In this book, Babylon, Mesopotamia and the Birth of Civilization by Paul Krivacek, an author new to me, who I'll definitely be reading more of. Well, what do we find in this? Babylon doesn't make an appearance till about halfway through the 300 pages, so we get a nice sweep of the earlier Mesopotamian culture, which, curiously, we know more about than succeeding cultures because they did us the favour of inventing writing. Not only that, but inventing cuneiform, which required clay tablets which have stood the test of time, while later civilizations modernised onto papyrus and other materials which unfortunately rotted away. So we've got more access to the 500,000 clay tablets of 3,000 years of civilization before they upped the technology. And it's amazing how much we know about these people because they did write it all down. We can recognise human beings from 5,000 years ago, but we don't know who they were. The black-headed people. Were they dark-skinned? Did they have black hair? Was it just metaphorical? They were known as the Sumerians by others, but we don't know what they called themselves. We don't know what they were from. They're my favourite historical people because wherever they came from, they set a chain of events in motion which led to our modern civilizations, starting with cities, then temple classes, corralled animals, hierarchies, and all the good things we love about modern life. So what else is in this book then? There's a marvellous drinking song, a hymn to alcohol, on page 84. Feeling wonderful while drinking beer in a blissful mood. Feeling exhilarated with a joyful heart and a contented liver. My heart is a heart filled with joy. There's also stuff about the height and form of the buildings, the importance of the introduction of the alphabet, the differences between the Sumerian, Egyptian, Akkadian alphabets, the adaptations from one to the other, in some detail, in fact. And as always, in these books of history we find parallels. There are black markets, there are stock markets, there are counting houses, there are named streets, even in the first city in history. There was 100-year war between Lagash and Umma. They hunted lions in Edin, which possibly is the biblical Eden, as we are in Eden territory. 4,000 years before Christ, there was a kind of Mao-style Great Leap Forward promoted by the leaders of the cities. Shulgi is painted as a kind of Soviet leader, a Lenin, a Stalin of his time. And it's Shulgi who does what I call a Ewan McCall, as in he gathers people around and says, hey, we're losing our tradition, we're losing our culture. Let's preserve things, let's keep things that represent our lineage. The Ewan McCall reference, by the way, is a folk song thing, a meeting he had where he encouraged folkies to dig deep into their own folklore. There are some very nice parallels. Mao's Great Leap Forward is presaged at one point, and the relationship of Assyria to Babylon is compared to that of the United States and England, the mother nation as it were. There are copious translations from the fragments describing swathes of history, the terrible famines that were produced. We must remember we're talking about millennia here. Things go up, things go down, cities rise, cities fall. There's an explanation of the number system. Boasts from mighty kings, conversations between school children and their parents, complaints about the paucity of gifts from Egypt, descriptions of the customs, the music. It really is a nice fantasy world for us at over 5,000 years of distance. And alongside the story of the actual places, there's a great story to be told about how they were discovered, who discovered them, what they got wrong, what we think now. Archaeologists appeared in the 7th and 8th centuries BC, while the ruins of Babylonia were visited by Benjamin of Tudela in 1160. It's all been done before. Turns out that one of the early archaeologists was the future Mr. Agatha Christie. I love these little tidbits of knowledge. And one last reflection on Shulgi's data collection and preservation. There's a little note about forward-looking and backward-looking societies. Why would you want to preserve everything in aspic, as it were? Well, possibly because you think it might get destroyed in the near future. Whereas there's another kind of society where old things are not held in high esteem and The zeitgeist is always looking for new developments. These are characterised as newer cities with a more progressive outlook. Anyway, let me quote The Independent. Fascinating, ... a lively mixture of topicality, politics, history, myth and culture. Okay, they're always fascinating, aren't they, these? But I agree, this was a fascinating book. If you're interested at all in early cultures, this is a good one to read. And if you're not interested in early cultures, there's plenty more books out there for you.